going to show you one thing that I like to do with spreadsheets to help recognize data really quickly for small groups. I like to use this for standard-based grading, for our midterm, our benchmarks, to see where students are. So the first thing I like to do is rotate the text that has the standard in it. So to do that, you click on it, and then you can click up here and rotate the text how you need it. So I like my standards to be up and down. Next, I want to freeze this so that as I scroll down and add more students, I am not losing the standard. I'm not having to scroll up or memorize what standard is in what column. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on freeze, and then I'm going to freeze this row. And I'm going to click here, and I want to freeze this column. So I'm also going to freeze that. That means that as I scroll left and right, I can still see my student names. So the next thing I need to do is I need to tell it what to do based on their score. So we kind of have 3 levels of students. So we have students that are high achieving, students in the middle, and then students that are struggling. So I want to be able to identify them from the spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on Format, Conditional Formatting. And I'm going to come over here to the cells. So what I want it to do is I'm going to start with the students who are struggling. So if they have less than or equal to a 64, then they are in our struggling group. So I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to change the color to red because that's our at-risk color. So I'm going to make it red. So now I can quickly identify what students are struggling, and then as a class, it looks like the stay command is the hardest. So next, I'm going to identify the students that are in the middle. So to go and do that, I'm going to click here, and I want to find the formula that says is between. It's going to give me 2 options. So if they're between a 64 and an 80, I would like them to turn yellow because that is our in the middle column. So I'm going to make those scores turn yellow. Click done. All right, and so then we can see kind of like who's borderline. As a class, it looks like Chase is the hardest. And then I want to mark the high achieving. So same thing, I'm going to click to add another one. This time I'm going to use is greater than or equal to. And so I'm going to make this 81. And then I'm going to turn this color green because that's the color of our third group. And click done. So now when I click off of it, I have red, yellow, green, and then I can see white spots for where students haven't completed it. You can also add a formula to make it so that if it is blank, you can see that it'll be a certain color. What I would recommend is if you want to use that one, what I like to do for that one is just highlight where I have scores because I don't want the whole spreadsheet to respond. So I'm going to add another rule, and I want to say if it's empty, we'll make it turn blue. So I only highlighted the place where I had numbers and then click done. And I would update this as I go. So as I add more scores and tests, I would just expand that range. And so now I can see who has what based on their color. So this is a really easy way for you to see which students need help in which areas, but also where as a class they could use additional support.